Hi there, my name is Annette with Sunbeam Fabric Art. Welcome to my channel. Today we're doing one more project out of an old vinyl flannel-backed tablecloth. Today we're going to make this lovely zippered, it can be a cosmetic bag or anything. It's got this vinyl lining from the tablecloth inside it. So come along with me and I'll show you how I made this cute, super cute little cosmetic bag. For this project, I started out with a 12.5 by 18-inch rectangle cut from an old vinyl flannel-backed tablecloth and a fat quarter bundle with 5 fat quarters. The fat quarter is from Joann's and it is called Into the Galaxy. I'm also using this white zipper with 2 zipper pulls. It's a basic nylon zipper. I will leave a product link in the description. I opened up my fat quarters and I pressed them flat. And the next thing I'm going to do is cut these fat quarters into 3-inch squares. I placed all 5 of the fat quarters on top of each other on my cutting mat. I cut off the left-hand edge so I had a nice straight edge, and then I just cut 3-inch widths on these strips, and then I turned the mat around and I cut those strips into 3-inch squares. For this bag, I want the zipper not to be at the very top of this bag. I want it to be kind of an inch or two down from the top. So I'm kind of making some folds in this vinyl just to give myself an idea of where the up and where the down is. On my fabrics, there aren't many directional fabrics, so I really don't need to worry about which side is up and which side is down. But in case you do, you can draw arrows on your base fabric. Now this flannel had a bunch of marks on it already. When I originally cut up this vinyl tablecloth, I did mark it up pretty well. And since that marking shows through the white fabric that I'm going to be using, I could see that those pen marks were showing through. I decided to add a piece of batting so I wouldn't have any of that ink marking showing through my outside of my bag. I trimmed that batting exactly the size of my rectangle. To start creating the outside of my bag, I took a 3-inch square, laid it down at the top of my bag, and then I laid another 3-inch square face to face, right sides together, and I stitched a seam, and then I finger pressed that open, and then I continued that all the way across the bag. To divide these strips apart, I'm using a little piece of white fabric and I pressed down one side of it, about a 1/4 inch. This strip was originally 1.5 inches wide, 1.25 inches wide. I took a 2.5 inch strip and cut it in half vertically. I took a minute and finger pressed this strip of fabric. Back at the top of my bag, I again started placing my 3-inch squares down, right sides together, and I'm making sure that that little strip of fabric, when I fold it over, is going to cover my raw edges. Once I finished that row of fabric, I simply pressed back open that white fabric, and I went down both sides of that white fabric with a decorative zigzag stitch. For the last row of squares, I kind of wanted to show you a way you can line these up. I've got my little ruler here lined up with the seam lines of my prior rows, and I'm just making a little mark where my seam line should be. Next, I made zipper casing. This is a 2.5-inch strip of fabric, and I pressed it in half. I am making my zipper casing double thick because of the bright fabrics on the bag and the white fabric of my zipper casing. First, I am stitching the zipper casing raw edge to the raw edge of the top or the bottom of my bag, whichever way you look at it. It is the shorter side of my rectangle. Next, I finger pressed that casing, and then I flipped the casing over to the front of the bag, the outside of the bag, and clipped that into place.
Next,
making sure my zipper was open quite a bit, I started re-clipping these clips with the zipper pull side up to the right side of the bag, and I just started taking off the clips I had and putting them back on with the zipper now attached. I'll be stitching one line of stitch very close to the zipper, as close as I can get with my zipper foot, and then I'll be stitching a second line of stitching on the opposite side of that casing. Once that was done, on the first side of the zipper, I went ahead and made sure that my lines of that white fabric that's dividing my colorful fabric, I wanted to make sure they were going to be lined up, so I have my zipper closed. Then I reopened the zipper, still making sure those white directional lines are going to line up. And then I started clipping the other side of the zipper to the other casing. After I got it all clipped in place, I did get that zipper opened up nice and wide so the other side would be out of the way, and I got the stitching done on the other side of the bag. The next thing I did was to close the zipper most of the way so I could kind of get my bag pressed into place. With the vinyl inside of the bag, I felt like I really needed to press down hard with my hands to get that vinyl creased where I wanted it to be creased. Next, I cut off the extra zipper tails and carefully opened my zipper pulls. Make sure you don't open your zipper pulls too far or you will lose them and have to reattach them or put a new zipper on. After that, it was simply a matter of turning my bag wrong side out to stitch those side seams down, and I made sure my zipper was open enough that I would be able to turn the bag right side out when I was done. For the side seams, I stitched one pass with a straight stitch on both sides, and then I stitched the blanket stitch, which is number 78 on my sewing machine. And the very last thing to do, which is the most fun, is turning the bag right side out. I also used a pokey tool to poke out my four corners. My husband just asked out of curiosity if this bag would fit his Kindle. It's a bigger Kindle Fire. I think it's the 10 maybe. But yeah, here you see me trying one-handed to put the Kindle in. It would have been better if I used two hands, but yeah, it did actually fit in there very nicely. So that kind of gives you an idea of the bag. I'll put the measurements in the description for sure. Thanks for joining me today as I made this cute bag. I just love it. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, and feel free to subscribe to my channel. Most of all, have fun with your sewing. I hope to see you back real soon.